Hello, I'm going to show you now how to use data validation to restrict the entry of a set of cells to only allow the user to enter numbers as an example. Now I'm going to show you numbers, but the same principle can be used to restrict to dates. You can to appoint users for drop down boxes, and all hosts of different things can be restricted. So let's say the quantity column in my spreadsheet should only allow the user to enter a number, and it won't let them put in anything unless it's between 1 and 99, and maybe we're only allowing people to enter whole numbers. So there's quite a few things that we want to restrict. So we don't want people typing in, one bunch, or we don't want people putting, 1.99. And we don't want people putting 999 in there. So we've got quite a few things we want to restrict. Now, how we do this, we first of all highlight over the area that we want to apply this restriction to. So in this case, can you see I've gone for row 5 down to 14 for the quantity column. Following that, I go to data, and then in the data tab, if you've got a larger screen than I have, you will have a button that's called data validation. If you don't, you will get a button which it's kind of got like a green tick and a red circle with a line on it. This is called data validation. If you're unsure, just hover your mouse over it and it's going to show you. I click onto that and it'll pop this screen up. Now there's 3 main tabs that you can populate. I'm going to concentrate just on the first tab. If you want to understand the input message in the error alert, I'd recommend you watch the data validation video about drop-down boxes, because I describe what these do in that video as well. So settings is where I'm going to concentrate my efforts here. In this tab, this is where you are going to define how you want to restrict what people can enter into those cells, because that is what data validation does. You are actually imposing a restriction on the user so they can only enter certain things into the boxes you specified. So at the moment it says any value because it's a free-for-all. There's no restriction on there. I'm going to bosh that down, and there's a whole host of different restrictions. So I can restrict to only whole numbers, decimals, a list. I can do stuff with date, time, text length. I can also define my own rule if I want to. Now, if you remember, my rule I'm going for is I want to only allow people to enter whole numbers between one value and another, i.e. 1 to 99. So I'm going to go for whole number because I don't want there to be decimals. Now, once you've selected that, you can choose further how you want to restrict. So I'm going to go for between, but it could be I'm looking for only items less than a maximum or greater than a maximum. So in my case, I'm going to go for between because that's perfect for what I want to go for. My minimum is going to be 1. My maximum is going to be 99. So once I'm ready, if I now click OK, if I click into this cell and type 1 or 2 or 3, no problem. But if I type 1 bunch, because it's not a number, can you see it kind of comes up with the computer says no? It's telling me that it doesn't match the restrictions I've put in place. Also, if I try and put 1.99, can you see same jive? It's not going to let me put that in. So it's really kind of locked it down to what you want it to be. Let's say the restriction changes and you want to allow people to enter, between 1 and 199. Well, you click on one of the cells that contains your validation in, go to data, click onto data validation. Before you make the change, you must tick this box, because what this is going to do, it's going to ensure you've highlighted all of the cells that has that validation rule on. And what that means is when you make the change, all of those cells will get that particular change. So make sure you tick that, make the change, and then click OK. So now if I try and put 101, previously it wouldn't have let me, but if I type 201, because it's above the 199 threshold that I set, it won't let me enter that information in. So that is how to add a data validation for numbers within an Excel file.